Hi everyone. I actually filmed an intro for this video, but the microphone was not plugged in all the way, so you can't hear me. So I'm going to be in this tiny bubble in the corner of your screen while you watch us pack the van. So this isn't a huge trip. It's not like a cross-country road thing. It's just a little trip to Santa Barbara. It's only one night, 2 days. We're loading up the van, heading north, planning to ride our bikes, wander through a farmer's market, check out a little art market, and eat some good food probably. Spend a couple of days away from our normal life. One of the things that I love most about living in Long Beach is that there's so many places like Santa Barbara just within a couple minute drive, and you don't always need to take like a 2-week vacation. You can just say yes, pack a cooler, go to Costco, get something pre-made, and sleep in the car overnight. Super easy. As I was packing for this trip, I realized it's probably a good opportunity to tell you a story of how I got into van life in the first place, because if you're new here, you might be wondering why I own a partially finished camper van. And the truth is, van life didn't start with Instagram for me. It started with my grandparents, and growing up, I spent a lot of summers traveling with them in their motorhome, and we'd spend weeks and sometimes months on the road exploring the country. We drove to deserts, mountains, forests, little towns, giant cities, everywhere. By now, I've visited 49 states. I have one state left, which is Alaska, hoping to mark that off shortly. And even after those trips ended, I just couldn't shake the idea of living more nomadically. And I talked about it all the time, like constantly, to a point where my friends finally got tired of me talking about it and was like, okay, if you love this idea, why don't you actually just go do it? So we did. A group of us took a trip to Hawaii. It was me, my friend Morgan, and my friend Joe. And we spent 2 weeks traveling around Kauai in a camper van. And honestly, the trip just changed everything for me. So I came home completely obsessed. The timing, however, was kind of interesting because the day we got back was March 18th of 2020. So you probably know where I'm going with this story. The very next day I went into work and was told that I would be laid off. And for the next year and a half, I found myself with something I had never really had before, which was time. And it was scary in a lot of ways, but it also created this huge opportunity for me. And I had some savings. I made a budget. I looked at my situation and thought, if I'm ever going to build a van, it's probably now or never. So I bought one. I immediately realized I had absolutely no idea how to build a van. And thankfully, my dad is incredibly handy and has worked in carpentry for years. So without him, this project would have looked very different. And actually, let's be honest, it probably would never have happened. We spent about 6 months building the first van together, and most of the work happened during the summer. It was very hot. It was not at all magical because standing inside a metal box in like 100 degrees really wasn't all that fun, but the outcome was fun. At the time, I lived in an apartment complex, and it was not exactly, they weren't exactly thrilled with a full-scale van conversion happening in their parking lot. So thankfully, I have a friend who let us use the space on a little farm, and that became the van like headquarters for a couple months. There were days when progress felt exciting, And there were days where I questioned all my life choices, spending all this money on something I wasn't even sure was going to look the way I wanted it to look. And also, it was like, are we ever going to finish this? And luckily we did. um, and it became one of the like greatest adventures of my whole life. Um, for the next couple of years, my best friend Morgan and I spent much of the time on the road as we possibly could. And for a while, it was kind of full time. We explored a lot of the country together. We spent Thanksgiving in Maine, eating lobster by the ocean. We wandered through New York City. We got the opportunity to go see SNL and lots of pop-ups, shows, concerts. We went to New Orleans to celebrate some birthdays. We skied in Idaho, Washington, Montana, and so many other places too. Just naming a few. And some of my favorite memories happened because we simply pointed the van in the direction and just started driving. Van life gave me experience I could never have planned for. It taught me confidence and problem solving and flexibility. And honestly, it taught me that I'm capable of far more than I ever gave myself credit for. Um, and then in 2023, everything kind of changed very quickly. Morgan and I were driving towards the Wisconsin Dells when a deer jumped directly in front of the van, and there wasn't any time to react. I didn't even know what happened when it did happen, and it totaled the van. Thankfully, we both were okay. You know, we were sore the next day, a couple of gashes here and there, but it was very minor, so luckily we were all right. But losing the van was absolutely devastating to me. It just represented so much, you know, getting my independence, adventure, friendship, going back to my hometown in New York where I grew up, and it was truly devastating. I mean, I'm still not over it, and that was, 4 or 5 years ago. So, I guess I can't count. It was 3.5 years ago, right? Just about. I felt like this journey I wasn't ready to close it. So I did what any reasonable person would do and immediately started looking for another van. And within a couple months, I bought one, and that's this one. The problem was that life looked different now. I had taken a desk job, had less free time, less flexibility, different financial responsibilities, and suddenly building a second van wasn't really simple as building the first one. And so here we are. The progress is very slow. Which brings us to today. Because for a while, it was like I convinced myself that I couldn't travel in the van because it wasn't finished. And I couldn't have adventures until everything was perfect. And I needed more cabinets, more storage, more upgrades, more this, more that, whatever. And it's kind of nonsense at this point. You know, the van doesn't have to be finished to be functional. It doesn't have to be perfect to create memories. It doesn't have to look like someone else built it on YouTube and it's worth taking out on the road, you know. Right now the van is basic, but it's doable. Most of the walls are done. The bed exists, but we have some notes, you know. Storage is little to none. We were traveling with bikes, and they took up the whole floor. Like, it's annoying. It's not great, but it's travelable. It's sleepable. And it's enough to help us reconnect with something that we've been missing. And I feel like a lot of what me and Erik, when we first met, was our love for adventure and travel. And we haven't really been able to do that for, a number of reasons. But some of it was because I'm like, oh, well, the van isn't done. It's going to be annoying and not worth it. And I don't think that's true anymore. And so this trip to Santa Barbara feels kind of important because, like, not because it's far away or if it's like a big extravagant adventure, but because it's the first step towards saying yes to adventure again. And the goal really isn't to like wait for a perfect van. I'm tired of waiting. The goal is to build a life that includes things that I love right now. And that is travel. And I feel like it will always be travel. So let's finish packing this thing up. So we're going to finish packing this thing up. We're going to hit the road and we're going to see where this weekend takes us. Let's go. We got the van packed. It's all good to go. It only took us 2 hours because nothing was in it. And packing the van is literally my least favorite thing. So now, we're gonna go get coffees and bagels at our favorite place called Jug Band before we leave. And it's right there.
It's happening. So I put it in directly, it's fine. But
it melted the whole thing?
It just melted this because it was charging my phone and it was using this, and it was overdoing this part. Like, it's just, this is cheap, but it's what I had. Like, it works for 2 regular chargers, but because this takes more power.
Oh no.
But the fridge is on.
Did it beep or anything?
Oh no.
I was just gonna show what you got.
On my bag. Ta-da!
Ooh.
Locks and bag.
Locks and schmear, your favorite.
Oh.
And I got a burrito. It's in this bag.
You got a burrito?
I know. I usually get a bagel, but burrito sounded good. We're camping. Burritos are good.
Ah.
Gotcha.
Petey, is it comfortable?
What'd you get?
Cinnamon roll. Pretty good.
Yeah. Coffee? Got it at Anna's Bakery. What town is this called? Anna. A pinwheel. Look at the colors, Anna. An almond croissant. And look at the goo. Good goo. Hi everybody. Just to give you a little bit of a recap of what is going on. First of all, here's the state of the van. It's a disaster, and it just makes me more excited about building cabinets for the van so that things have places to go, because this is driving me crazy. Not just this, all of this. I desperately need to get a bike rack, and our mister has returned from the bathroom.
So the bathroom wasn't there. Oh, what the heck?
What? Oh.
Yeah, it just came out.
Took a bit of a detour because there's a craft fair, and I think I'm gonna get a matcha. Oh, look how beautiful this is. You tired? You feel better now you're eating?
A little bit.
How about you? How's it for you? Petey did not enjoy that.
We were supposed to do Peaches at the Beach. And then we put the song over and Do Me Right.
We're still there. You know we live at the beach? Here?
I already did it.
No, leave no tray.
That's a grape.
You're technically not supposed to leave food either. These are my favorite things in the world. They're so good. It's just like a pina colada. Isn't that insane? Like, who's demonizing fruit because there's sugar in it?
Oh.
My mother. My boomer mom.